Hello everyone, my name is Emmanuel, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own website one step at a time. It's going to be super easy. In 2015, I had no idea how websites worked or how to make them. And I went on YouTube just like you're doing right now. I saw a video, I learned how to make my own website, and now I make websites for a living. So I want to pay it forward and teach you guys how to make your own website. Without a doubt, having a website today is more important than ever before. Now, don't worry, you don't need any kind of special software. You don't need any kind of special programs. Everything is going to be super simple. You don't need to know how to code. It's going to be really easy, and you're going to be able to follow along this video one step at a time, even if you've never made a website before. So here are some of the things that you're going to be learning in this video. First of all, I'm going to teach you how to get your domain name and your hosting. Your domain name just means the name of your website. So for example, facebook.com, google.com, yahoo.com, those are all domain names. And hosting just means the storage for your website's files. Kind of like Google Drive or iCloud Drive. It's just where your website stores the pictures and videos that we're going to be uploading to it. And I'm going to show you how to do all of that. Talking about pictures, I'm going to show you how to get free pictures to use on your website in case, like me, you're not a professional photographer. I'm going to show you how to get your own free pictures and free videos. I'm going to show you how to create pages for your website, how to make your website's menu. We're going to be making a home page, about us page, a services page, and a contact page with a contact form so people can send you a message from anywhere in the world. Also, we're going to make sure that your website works perfectly, not only on computers, but also on mobile devices like tablets and cell phones. So your website will be 100% mobile friendly. To make your website, we're going to be using a tool called WordPress. WordPress is a CMS or content management system. Basically, it's a free software that we can use. You don't need to know any code to use it. And it lets us build a website without having to use any kind of complex code. WordPress is the most popular CMS in all of the world, and it's used by companies like FedEx, UPS, and Best Buy. It's very safe, very user-friendly, and very flexible. I'm also going to show you how to upload your own logo, and if you don't have a logo, I'm going to show you how to make your own logo for your website. And last but not least, we're going to make sure your website is secure so that it can't get hacked and nothing bad can happen with your website. And you're probably wondering, how much is a website going to cost me? Well, if you were to hire a web developer to make you a website like this, it might cost you $2,000 to $3,000. But following along this video, the lesson is completely for free. The only thing you have to pay for is buying your domain name, the name of your website, and your hosting, and that's only going to cost about $13. So that's really great to know that it's going to be very affordable for you to have your very own website. So before we get started, let me go ahead and show you the website that we're going to be making. This is the website that I'm going to show you how to make. I'm going to show you how to create different sections just like this. I'm going to show you how to create columns, how to put text, images, and even video backgrounds. I'm going to show you how to set up your logo and add a contact form. Now, you'll be able to rearrange and customize this website in whichever way you want. This is just what I'm going to teach you how to make, and I'm also going to teach you how to change it around. That being said, let's get started by getting our domain name and hosting right now. All right, so to get started, we're going to get our domain name, which is the name of our website, and our hosting, which is the storage of our website. And we're going to get that at a website called hostgator.com, spelled just like this. And here's the HostGator website. What we're going to do is go here to where it says hosting, and we're going to click here where it says shared hosting. And we're going to go ahead and scroll down, and they have a couple of different plans at different price points. And each plan gives you a little bit more stuff. But to get started, all you really need is the hatching plan. It's going to have everything you need. It's going to give you your domain name, your hosting, and it's even going to give you an SSL so that your website is encrypted and secure once we publish it. So we're going to go ahead and click here where it says buy now. And the next thing it's going to do is ask us to enter our domain name. So we don't have a domain name yet, and this is where we get to pick one. So think of whatever name you want to have for your website, and you're going to plug it in here. Now, if you happen to already have another domain that you bought somewhere else, you can click here where it says I already own this domain and plug it in there. But since this is a brand new website that we're doing from scratch, we're going to register a brand new domain, a brand new name for our website. Now, if you type in your name, it's possible that somebody else might already have it. So for example, if I write yahoo.com it's going to tell me that somebody is already using yahoo.com. So you can see here it says unavailable, 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 because obviously somebody already owns that domain name. So if you see that that's the case, you can try a few different combinations to make sure that your domain is available. So the domain that I'm going to get is going to be Let's Learn to Make a Website. It's a little bit long, but it'll do. And from this drop down right here, you can choose the if you want it to be .com or online or site or store or tech or .net, any of these. I always choose .com because that's the one that everybody knows. So we're going to click right there. And it's already telling me that Let's Learn to Make a Website.com is available. So that is awesome. We can continue on to the next step now. So if we keep scrolling down, we'll see that here the next thing it's telling us is that we can add domain privacy for $15 a year. You don't really need this. You can have it if you want, but we don't really need it. So I'm going to uncheck it. And if you go to the next part, it says choose a hosting plan. We already checked the hatchling plan. And here it's asking us how many months we want to purchase. So if you purchase more months at a time, they'll give you a higher discount. But I'm trying to do this for the minimal amount possible. So we're just going to click 1 month, and that'll be $10.95. And like I said, I'm going to give you a discount code that's going to actually make it even lower. So then we're going to go to part 3, which is creating our account. And we're going to plug in here our email address and confirm it. Next, you're going to set up a password for your account and a 4-digit PIN, and try to make it something that you won't forget, and that is safe. Definitely not 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm just putting this as an example. All right, next we're going to plug in our billing information. So just plug in that stuff right there. And then we're going to plug in our credit card information that you want to use to pay. Obviously, I'm going to do that off screen, but here's where you would plug it in. You don't have to use this tax ID thing, just regular credit card works fine, or you can even use PayPal. So we'll fill that in, and we're going to keep scrolling down here. And they have some additional services that they've automatically checked for us. This secure website with SiteLock, we don't really need that. I'm going to show you guys how to use the SSL to secure your website. And this backup, we don't really need that either. We can do that with a plugin actually, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So we don't need this either. And we're going to keep scrolling down, and here we can see our total, which is $23.90. Now, HostGator has been nice enough to automatically plug in a coupon code for us, which is great, but I actually have a different coupon code that will give you a bigger discount. And the code is BIGSAVE, BIGSAVE, like that. And if we click validate, it's going to apply the code. And we see that it's going to go down to $13.75. So not only does this code give you a discount, it also lets HostGator know that I sent you over, and they like that, so they also give me credit for doing that. So I appreciate you guys for using that code as well. So we've set up all our settings for the domain and the hosting on this page. The only thing left to do is click here that we agree to the standard terms and conditions, and then we're going to click Checkout Now. All right, so now it's getting ready to set up our account. So we're going to give it a minute for it to do its thing. All right, and after a few minutes, it's going to go to this goals page. We really don't need to fill this out, so we're going to hit skip. And now it's going to go to this page with some more options and stuff. We really don't need this either. We're going to scroll down and click here where it says go to the dashboard. So here's our HostGator dashboard where we can start actually setting up how we want our website to work. And it's going to be super easy. Do not be intimidated by this. So we're going to scroll down here where it says launch cPanel. cPanel is the tool that will let us install WordPress on our domain and let us actually start building our website. So let's click launch cPanel. All right, so here's our cPanel, our control panel. We're going to go here to the left-hand side where it says Website Essentials, and that's going to load up some options. And here in the middle, we're going to see WordPress. So we're going to click right here to get WordPress. and it's going to ask us select a domain for installation. So what domain name do you want to put WordPress on? And if I click right here, you see I just have the domain that we purchased. We're going to select that one. And if you take a look down here, you can actually see how much money you're saving by following along in this video. You see, just to set up the basic, it's $99. And if you want them to actually install your theme and things like that and install WordPress for you, it's $400. And this is stuff that you're doing yourself right now. So you've already saved $400 just by following along this video. All right, so we've picked the domain. Here where it says directory, we can leave that blank just like that. And we're going to click next. Next, it's going to ask us to put our blog title. It says blog, but it really means website title. So whatever you want to call your website. Then you're going to put your username. Your website's going to have a username and a password. You're going to put whatever username you want to use, your name and last name, and your email. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that out. All right, so I just put my website, but here you probably want to put the name of your business or the name of your idea, something that when people come to your website, whatever the title is, it's what's going to be written up here in the tab. So just make sure it's something that matches your idea. We're going to make sure this is checked right here, and we're also going to make sure that we check that we agree to the terms of service. Next, we're going to be able to go ahead and click install. And right now, HostGator is installing WordPress on our website. And as soon as it's done, we can begin working on it. So we'll give it a few minutes. All right, and we see that it says installation is complete. So now what we're gonna do just to test it before we click login or any of this, we see here we have our URL, we have our username, and we have the password that was automatically generated for us. So I'm just gonna go ahead and copy this link right here. And I'm going to open it in a new tab just to make sure it's working properly. All right, so we have this coming soon page. Now, sometimes HostGator changes how it looks, so your page might look a little bit different, but as long as it's not an error, as long as it's some kind of coming soon page, that means that everything was done correctly. Now, to log into our website, we're going to just come back here to the domain, and we're going to add /WP, like WordPress, WP, horizontal dash, and then admin, WordPress admin, and we're going to click enter. And this is our website's login page. So we're going to go ahead and copy our username and paste it right there. And we're going to go ahead and copy our password and paste it right here. And we're going to click login. And we've logged in to the back end of our website. Now, our website by default has a lot of bloatware. Just like how when you buy a cell phone, it comes with a lot of extra apps that you don't need. Our website has that too. So we're going to clean all that stuff out so that we can start with a fresh, clean website. Now, make sure that you save this information in a notepad or somewhere in case you need it again. We're going to reset this password to something easier for you to remember as well. But at this point, we can close out of these two tabs. And we are here at the back end of our website. Don't worry, don't be overwhelmed. We're going to set this all up and work on the design part real quick. So what we're going to do is scroll down right here to where it says plugins. And plugins are pretty much like apps. So all these little tabs and all these crazy buttons and colors, those are all just all the plugins requesting things and accessing things. So we're going to scroll down here. And you see that all this stuff is already installed on our website. These are all like apps. We don't want any of this. So we're going to check right here. And we're going to go to bulk actions and click deactivate and click apply to get rid of all the junk apps that come on the website. Then we're going to click again here. They're already deactivated. And now once they're deactivated, we can delete them and click apply and click OK. All right, so that's part one of the little basic maintenance that we want to do before we start working on everything, just to make sure that everything works properly. The next thing we want to do is make sure everything is up to date. So we can see here it tells us there's a WordPress update available. That might not be the case when you set it up. To check, you can click this little update button up here. We're going to click right there. And we're just going to check if there's anything that has to be updated before we get started. And we can see there is a WordPress update pending, but it says we cannot update it because we're on the wrong version of PHP. We can update the PHP. It's really simple. We just have to go back to HostGator. It just takes 1 minute. So let's go back to HostGator real quick. We're going to go to sign in, our portal, and you're going to log in with your email and password. Once you log in, you'll go back to cPanel. Once you're in cPanel, you're going to scroll all the way down to software, domains, emails, metrics, security, software, this one. And you're going to find here, multi-PHP manager, and it's going to be super easy. Here's our website, learn to make a website. We're going to check right here, PHP version. We're going to make sure it's the largest one, 74, and we're going to click apply. That's automatically going to update on our website right here. Whoops, right, this one. And we'll refresh the website page. All right, now we have the ability to update, and we'll click update now. That's going to give us all the latest WordPress updates and make sure everything on our website works smoothly in the back end. So we've updated WordPress, so now we can really close out of these two things again. All right, so all our plugins have been removed and WordPress is up to date. Now let's reset that password so that if we need to log back into our website, we don't have to remember that really complicated password. So we're gonna go to users, and here is our admin user. Click edit. And if we scroll down, we'll see here where it says new password, set new password. It's gonna automatically generate a complicated password for you. You can erase it and you can make your own password. For example, I could write something like this. And then that would be a really strong password, and I can click update profile and that will save the password. So reset your password to something that is easy for you to remember and click update profile, and that will have saved your new password. The next setting we have to do is for the links of our website. So we don't want our links to look like a bunch of crazy stuff. For example, like you see this link where it's like PHP !_% like that's crazy. That's really hard for people to remember, and it's going to be really hard to like share the links or know what the pages are called. We just want our links to be really simple. So our home page would be /home, our about page /about, our contact page /contact, like that. So to do that, we're going to go to settings and then permalinks and click right there. And here where it says permalink structure, we're going to do post name. That is a really simple, just the name of the page will be the link. And it won't be like crazy like this stuff. All right, so we're going to check post name, and then we're going to click save changes. All right, that has saved those links. Now we can actually see what our website looks like right now. So to do that, you just go to the top left-hand corner where it says visit site, or the name of your website will be up here, and you click right there. And this is what our website looks like right now. It's really blank. There's not much going on. Doesn't look that great. There's no pages. There's no menu. Not much going on here. So now we're going to start actually turning this into a real website with images and text and a menu and your logo and different pages. So the first thing we have to do is install a theme. Now the theme we're going to install is not going to completely design the website for us. It's just going to make the skeleton of the website. So it's going to create a menu for us, a footer at the bottom for us. It's going to set up the structure for different pages and just make the whole process easier for us. In the design, we're going to do our own custom design to make our website look however we want. So to do that, we're going to go to back to the dashboard. And we're going to go to Appearance, Themes. And there are some themes pre-installed, but we don't need to use them. We're going to click here where it says Add New. And we're going to install a theme called Astra. All right, and it's this one right here. Don't confuse it with this one that has a similar name. It's this one right here, Astra. And we're going to click Install. And activate. All right, so that's going to change some of the basic skeleton of our website. And if we go back to the top left and click Visit Site, we'll see that it looks a little bit different. we'll see that now there's like a logo section up here, and there's like a little menu link up here for a sample page, and now there's like things are divided up a little bit better. Doesn't really look like a website yet. There's a header section up here. There's a footer section down here. So it's definitely not anywhere near done, but it kind of has a little bit better structure. So that's what the theme is going to do. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some plugins, some apps to our website that are going to help us design and customize the pages. So we're going to go back to our dashboard. And we're going to go to plugins. Okay, so we're going to click add new. And the first plugin we're going to install is called Elementor. Spelled just like this, and it looks like this. By Elementor.com, 5 million plus active installations, 5 stars. This is an excellent page builder, super easy to use. You don't need to know any coding or anything, and it's going to let you create any kind of website you want. So we're going to click install now. And activate. Perfect. It's going to give us a little welcome screen, but I'll show you how this works. So let's go back to plugins and add one more. We're going to add a contact form to our website. So we're going to use a plugin called Contact Form 7. And it's this little mountain icon right here. We're going to click install. This is going to allow us to add a contact form to our contact page so people can send us messages right from our website. We're going to go ahead and click activate, and we're going to add one more plugin, and it's going to be called Simple SSL. This plugin is going to let us set up the SSL, the security for our website, at the end of the install. So we're going to click install now and activate, and we'll come back to this plugin near the end. Perfect. So we have here our plugins. Now we need to create our pages for our website. So to do that, we're going to go here to the left-hand side and click on pages, and you can make as many pages as you want. And we'll scroll down. We can X out of here. There are some sample pages that might be already created. We can just check them like this. Whoops. Check them like this and click move to trash since we don't really need them. And we can go and click add new. And here we're going to create a page for our website. So we can close out of here, and we just have to write the title. So this is going to be the home page. There you are. And here on the left hand side we have some options. So if we scroll down, we see here that there's a sidebar option. We don't want to have a sidebar. We want our website to be full screen. So for sidebar, we're going to put no sidebar. For our content layout, we're going to put full width stretched. This means that we want the images and the page to stretch from one side all the way to the other. Those are the only settings we have to set up here, and we can click publish and publish. All right, so that page is ready. Then we click on this W on the top left to make another one. Add new. And now we're going to make our about page. So we'll just title it about. Same settings for this one, no sidebar, full width stretched, and publish, and publish. All right, and then we're going to go back, and you can make as many pages as you want. I'm going to do 4 pages: home, about, services, and contact. So this can be services. Same settings. And the final page is going to be the contact page. So add new, contact, and no sidebar, full width stretched, and publish. Publish. Perfect. Now we have our pages, but we want our pages to show up on the website's menu. All websites have a menu at the top, and we want ours to have that too. So we have to create that menu. To do that, we're going to go to Appearances, Menus, and here we can create our first menu. So we have to call it, let's call it Main Menu, and click Create Menu. And we've created our menu, but we have to add pages to this menu. So here on the left-hand side, we see some page options. We're going to just check all of them since we need all of them and click Add to Menu. And here's our menu, but it's kind of backwards. We want the home page to be the first link, then the About page, and the contact page I want to be last. But you can just drag and drop whatever order you want the menu to be in. And if you want to have like a sub menu, like a drop down, you can just pull this out, and then this will create like a little drop down menu on your website. But for now, I just want them all on the same line, and we're going to make this our primary menu, and we're going to click Save. Okay, perfect. So let's go back and take a look at our website and see what we have so far. So we're going to go to the top left, click Visit Site, and we'll see it's looking a little bit different. We have our pages right here. So we have our menu set up, but there's nothing designed just yet. That's because even though on this home page, if we click it right here, it has the settings for the home page, it's not actually the home page of the website yet. We have to assign it to be the home page. The website doesn't know by itself that that's the home page. So to do that, we're going to go to our dashboard again. And then we're going to go to Settings. And we're going to go to Reading. And here it says your homepage displays. By default, it's going to say your latest post, like if it was a blog, but we're going to choose a static page. And for the home page, we're going to choose Home, which is the one we just created. And we're going to scroll down and click Save. And now if we go back to our website and click Visit Site, we'll see that that blank page is now the home page. There's no sidebar or anything else in there. So now we have a blank slate to start working with and start making a design. So how do we start designing our page? Well, how do we start designing our pages? Well, let's start with the home page. It's going to work the same for every page. So to do that, we're going to go back to our dashboard one more time. And we're going to go to Pages. And we're going to go to our home page, which is the front page. We're going to click Edit. And we're going to click up here where it says Edit with Elementor. That's going to open up Elementor, which is the page builder that lets us design the website however we want. All right, so here is Elementor. We have our page right here. It's empty right now. And then here on the left, we have a bunch of options. We have headings, images, text, videos, buttons, dividers, Google Maps, icons. We have some pro features that you can get, but we're not going to be using those. We have image boxes, icon boxes, an image carousel, a gallery, and tons of different things that you can add to your website. So how do we use them, and what should our website look like? Well, all websites are divided into sections and columns. Let me show you a few examples. So if we go to apple.com, we'll see that they have this row that goes from left to right, and they have 3 columns right here. Then they have another row with some text and an image. Then they have another row, and then they have these 2 columns, and then 2 more columns. If we go to tesla.com, for example, we'll see that they have this row with some text and some buttons. Then they have another row with some text and some buttons. Another row, this is very image based. We see the big background image. Uber.com, we'll see that they have their menu, and then they have this first row right here with an image and text on the left. Then they have these 3 columns for different information of different places. Then we have this other section right here, and then 3 more columns. So all websites pretty much organize the same way. You have rows of information, and then inside of those rows, you have different columns. And that's exactly how we're gonna set up our website. So I want the first part of the website to kind of be like a big image, kind of like what we saw on the Tesla one. I think that looks really nice. So how do we set up the rows and columns that our page is going to have? Well, you're going to hit right here, the plus button, and it's going to ask you, for this row that you're going to create, how many columns do you want? Do you want it to be full width? Do you want it to be two different things? You know, something, maybe an image on the left and text on the right, or maybe 3 or 4, or, you know, however many you want. So for this first one, I want it to be a full width image, so just one big row. So we're going to click right here, and that's going to add this row. So what do I want in here? Well, I'd like to have some text, like a title, maybe a subheading, and then a button, and then a really nice background image. So how do we get those things into that row? Really easily. So by default, it's going to show us the row settings right here, but we actually want to bring stuff into the row. To do that, here on the top, we're going to see this little grid that's going to show us again all of our elements. We're going to just drag and drop this heading right in there and drop it right in there. There's the heading we needed. Now we want a subheading, so we go back to all the elements and we can place another heading right under it. That'll be the subheading. And we wanted a button, so we're going to go ahead and drag and drop this button in here. Now, this does not look like the Tesla website at all right now. It looks really bad. But that's because we haven't styled it. So the first thing we've done is add the content. We want headings and we want a button, and we've added that. Now we need to style how we want the headings to look, what font, what color, how we want the button to look, all of those things. How do we do that? Well, if we click right here on the text, we'll see that we have this little edit icon. And here's the text. So I can actually type in what I want it to say. So for example, I can type in something like discover. And I would like this to be at the center of the page. And I want to style it so that it looks a lot nicer and pops more. How do I do that? Well, we're going to go here to style. And then here we can choose the text color. And maybe I want that to be black. So for typography, it's going to let us choose the font. There's a lot of different fonts here, as you can see. All kinds of fonts to pick from. Lots of different fonts. I like a font called Railway, which is this one right here. I think it's a really nice, clean font. Then we can choose the size of the font. We can use this little scroll to make it really big or really small. And we can also choose the weight or thickness. So we can make it really thin, like this, or we can make it really thick, like this. So I kind of like where it was at 600, and I want to make it a little bit big, like that. All right, so that looks pretty good. Now I want to also edit this subheading. I can do it the same way. I can click right here on the options for it. I can add a subheading to this. So discover all the possibilities, and we can center it. We can go to style, change the color to black as well, or maybe even like a lighter shade, like a gray, to kind of differentiate it. Typography, we can change the font to Railway so that it matches. We can make it a little bit smaller, like this, and we can make it a little bit thinner, like that. There you go, looking a little bit better. Now we have to style this button. We do it the same way. We click on the options. We can write what the button is going to say. So we can say something like get started, like that. And we want it to be centered. And here where it says link, we can choose, well, when somebody clicks this, where is it going to take them? So maybe if they click get started, I want them to go to the contact page so that they can contact me and I can start working with them, or you know, you can get in contact with whoever is like seeing your website. So I'm going to type in here the word contact, and Elementor is going to detect that there's a page on my website called contact, and it's going to recommend the contact page. And if I click it, it's going to plug in the link, which is, learntomakewebsite.com/contact. It's going to automatically fill it in there. If you want to link to something outside of your website, you just copy and paste the link into that box. So let's change also how the button looks. So we can go to style and typography. I would like the font of the button to match the font of my website. So I'm going to make that one Railway as well. And here it is. And we're going to make it a little bit thicker, like that. And let's choose a size that looks good. That one's good. And we can keep scrolling down. Here we have some colors. So what color do I want it to be? I think I would like for it to be black. We can also change the text color, so you can make it any color you want. I'm going to make it white so that it's easy to read. You can choose the border radius. This defines the radius of this curve right here of the button. So if I make it 0, it's going to make it a very square button. And the higher the number I put, the more curved it is. So if I put 20, you see it kind of curves it. Oh, I put 200. If I put 20, you see how it curves it. And if I put 100, curves it even more. And if I put just like maybe 10, it only curves it a little bit. So I want it to be square, so I'm actually going to put 0. You can also add some padding to the button. So if I take off the padding, it's going to shrink it all down, take everything off. And padding is just the space around an object. So I can add padding to the top. It's going to make space at the top. So for example, you'll see I put 200. It's going to make this 200. Or I can put 10. And then on the left or the right, maybe I want 30. Oops, too much. And maybe on the bottom I want 10 so that it's even. And maybe on the left I want 30. And that way I can change the shape of the button a little bit. So that's how you do that. All right. So now it's a little bit cramped. You see the section kind of starts here and ends here. I kind of want to open that up a little bit. So to do that, we have to edit the settings of this row. To do that, we're going to click right here at the top. And we see that there's different options here. And one of them is height. So height is how tall do you want this to be? Like how tall do you want this section to be? So go to height instead of default. Default is just going to make it as tall as whatever's in here. So the more stuff you put in here, the taller it'll get. But that's not what I want. I want there to be a little bit of breathing room. So I'm going to switch to minimum height. And here you can choose how many pixels tall you want it to be. So you can make it really big, too big, or really tight. So I think 450 looks really good. It's a good amount of space. Nothing is too cramped. And the next thing I want to do is add a background image to this section to really make it look nice. So how do we add a background image to a row? To do that, we're going to go to Style. And then there's a lot of different background options. So here under background type, you have a classic, gradient, video, or a slideshow. So a classic is just a color and image. So if I choose a color, you see I can make this whatever color I want. Or I can choose an image. You can also choose a video file or a video link, and I'll show you how to do that for one of the next sections. So I want to choose an image. You can use an image related to your business or an image that you've taken. But what if you don't really have any nice professional images? Well, that's okay. I'm going to show you how to get really nice professional images that you can use on your website. There's actually a couple of different websites that we can use. They give us really great images. One of my favorites is called Pixabay, so we can go to that website, pixabay.com. And it looks just like this, and you can search for any image. They're free to use. So I want a really nice, like majestic picture, so maybe something like a mountain. And when I plug in mountain, it gives me a lot of images that I can use. And you can take your time and scroll through one that fits for you. There's images of all kinds of things, like different kinds of fields of work, scenery, people doing different things, all sorts of things. So you can search whatever kind of image you want and use it. So as I scroll through this, I really like how this mountain range looks. So I'm going to click right here, and it's a free download. I'm going to click free download. And I can choose the size. This one looks pretty good. And click download. I'm not a robot. And download. Great. It's going to save to my computer. And I can come back to my website. Click the plus button here where it says choose an image. And I have a media library. This will show me the stuff that I've already added to my website, but I haven't added any images yet. So we're going to go to upload file and click select file. So if I go to my downloads, I can see that the image downloaded right here. Just make sure you know what file it downloaded to on your computer, and then select the image and click open. And it's going to upload the picture to the website. And it's uploaded, and we can click insert media. And it's going to insert it into the background. Now, as you can see, well, we can close out of this download. As you can see, the image is a lot bigger than this square because, it's a big photograph. We need to adjust the settings so that the picture lines up well with this. So if we go here to the image, we see there's some options here. So for position, I want to have it in the center, a little bit better. And attachment, that's fine. Repeat, that's fine. For size, we're going to choose cover. We want the image to cover the entire picture, not just a little piece of it. So cover, that's going to crunch it in a little bit more. Now we can see that the text is a little bit hard to read because the mountain and like the gray of the mountain is similar to the gray of the text. So we can actually add a color overlay to kind of make the background and the text stand out a little bit more. So to do that, we go to background overlay and we can choose what color we want to have. You can add an image, but then you'd have two images on top of each other, and then that would make it kind of like really confusing and hard to read. So I'm going to choose a color, and I'm going to choose white. And I can choose how much opacity. So if I do 100%, it'll just be 100% white. And if I do 0, it's like if I didn't have it there. So I can do maybe something like 60% would be good. Great. So there you can see the mountain in the background, but you can still read the text really clearly. So I'm going to go ahead and click update. And when you click update, that's going to save the changes. So we've created the first section of our website. To see how it looks, we can click right here on the little preview button right next to the update button, and it's going to open up a new tab. All right, so here is our website so far. It only has one section, but you can see that now it kind of starts to look like a real website. You have a menu, you have text, you have an image. It's starting to look like an actual website that you'd see online. So let's keep working at this. The next section that I want to make is a little mini about section. So it's going to be like a mini about section, and then when they click it, it's going to go to the about page where they can read the full about section. And for this one, I want it to be 2 columns, one with a picture, and then one with like a little mini paragraph. So to do that, we're going to click the plus, and we're going to click 2 columns. Now on this section here, I want there to be a picture. So I'm going to go here to see all the elements, and I'm going to drag and drop an image in. There you go. And on this part, I want it to have a heading that says about me or about us, and then under that a little summary paragraph, and then under that a button that will go to the about page. So to do that, we're going to go back to all our elements, and we can drag and drop the title, and then under that we're going to go to the elements and have a little mini paragraph about me, and then under that we're going to have a button just like that. So the first thing that I want to do is kind of give this some space, because this heading and all this stuff is kind of way too close to like the edges here. So to do that, we're going to change the height of this row again. We're going to click right here on the options. Then we're going to go back to height, and then we're going to put minimum height, and we're going to make it 450. And that's going to give it some space right there. Now, the next thing I want to do is make sure that this heading matches this one, so that, you know, it's at least in the same font and same color. But the good thing is that I don't have to redo all the settings again. I can actually right click on this, click copy, and then I can right click on this and click paste style, and it will paste the different style settings that I had already set up. So you see, it does the same font, same color, and same size, which is a little too big. But it saves us in some of the settings that we would have had to have done. So I can click to edit this a little bit more. I can change the text to about us maybe, like that. And I want it to be left aligned, and under style, I do want it to be a little bit smaller. So I'll go to typography, and I'm going to make this font a little bit smaller. That's better. Now for this button, I do want it to look just like this. So I can right click on this button, I can click copy, and I can right click on this button, and I can click paste style, and it will paste the style that I already set up here. That's going to save me a lot of time. Then I can click to edit the button a little more. I want it to be left aligned. I want this to say learn more. And I want this to link to the about page. So if I click, I type in here about, and I pick the about page. And now it links to the about page. And now here I'm going to plug in an image. So I'm going to click right here, choose image. And to save you guys time, I've already gone through Pixabay and downloaded a bunch of images that I like. So that's what I would recommend. You know, come to Pixabay, get a bunch of images that you want to use for your website, and that way you don't have to be searching all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and upload those. So select file, and I'm just going to check all the different pictures that I have picked and upload them to my website. So they've downloaded and I want to choose this one and click insert. And that looks really great. So here I have the mini about section, and then here, you can plug in a few sentences about yourself, however much you want to write as an example. All right, so here we have now the about section. That was really easy. Next, I want to have like a little mini services section, and when they click it, it'll go to the services page. So to do that, I'm going to add another section, and I'm going to put 3 columns. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this heading and paste it in here like that. And I'm going to copy this paragraph and paste it right under here like this. And I'm going to copy this button and I'm going to paste it in here like this. So that's going to save me a lot of time versus having to like search for everything, since I know that I want to use a heading and a little paragraph and everything. So let me shorten this a little bit here. Maybe just 1 sentence, right? And then I want this to be centered. And the title, this will be like, for example, service number 1. And we'll center this. And we'll make it a little bit smaller, the font. And this button, we'll center it as well. And we will make the font of this button a little bit smaller too, like that. And then we want this to go to the service page. So we're going to edit the link to services. And just like that. So we also want an image at the top. So I'm going to go here. Actually, you know what? Instead of an image, let's do something different. Let's add an icon. So there's an option here for icons. So I can drag and drop here. And there's the icon, and I can choose what kind of icon I want to use. And there's hundreds of different kinds of icons for almost anything. So I can put something like mountain. Let's see what comes up. And here's a cool little icon, and I can insert that. And I can go to style and choose what color I want it to be. And I can make it whatever color I want. Maybe like a dark blue would look nice. That's nice. And I can choose what size I want it to be. So bigger or smaller. I think 100 pixels might work. A little too big, maybe 75. Whoops. Perfect. You can also rotate it, but I think it looks good like this. So I'm going to have 3 services, and they're each going to have an icon and a title. So I'm just going to copy and paste and paste. Same thing for the heading, copy and paste. This is a really great tool to save you some time. You just design it once, and then you can copy and paste it into other parts of the website once you've designed it once. Just like that. So this will be your service number 2, whatever you want that to be. This will be your service number 3. We also want to probably have different icons, so I can choose maybe something else like a motorcycle. That's cool. And then for the 3rd service, we can choose little paw. Yeah, I'm sure you can choose whatever icons will match whatever service you're setting up for your website. I also want to give this more space as well. So we're going to go back to the row options, and under height, minimum height, again 450. That way all of our rows are evenly spaced. Now this section here has a white background, and so does this one, but I kind of want to differentiate them. So I want to add a different color background here. So I'm going to go to the row options where I'm at already. I'm going to go to style and then background type. I'm going to choose a color, and it'll be maybe just like a light gray, just to differentiate it a little bit, just like this. All right, perfect. And click update to save our changes. And then we're going to click preview, and that's going to preview our page. So we can see that now it's starting to look like a real website, starting to look like a real full-fledged website. And I'm going to add one last section, and it's going to be a shortcut to the contact page. So I actually want to make it very similar to this title page here. So what I'll do is I can actually right click here and copy the entire thing. And you'll see that if I scroll down and if I right click here, I can paste. and I can copy the entire section. So if you make a section that you really like, you can duplicate the section as well. So I'm going to change this to Contact Us. And I don't need this subheading anymore, so I can delete it by right-clicking on it and then choosing Delete. And Get Started still works because it links to the contact page. But one thing I do want to do is change this picture and add that video background that I mentioned earlier. So to do that, we're going to go here to the row options. Then we're going to go to Style, and we're going to scroll down here, right here, and we're going to click the video option. So it says here video link. So we're going to find a video from YouTube, and you can plug in the link. So I'm going to head over to YouTube right now and find a video that I like. And here I've got this really cool snowy video, like of snowy landscapes and things like that, which I think looks really great and kind of matches with the website. So I can just kind of copy this link right here, and I can go back to my website and paste the link, and it's gonna plug in the video in the background. And I can do the same things as I did before. I can go to background overlay, and maybe I can make the overlay a little bit less for this one so the video shows a little bit more like that. That looks really great. And I can click update to save those changes. So that works with pretty much any YouTube video link that you want to plug in, and we can close out of YouTube. And if we come back to the website here, the preview, we can see that we have our beginning section, the about section that links to the about page, the services section that links to services, and then the contact section that that's going to link to the contact page. And we can see that it looks really awesome, really impressive, and really professional. And it was all really easy to put together. So it looks great on the computer, but we just want to make sure that it also looks great on mobile devices. So to do that, we're going to go back to Elementor, and we just want to edit the website, make sure it looks good on mobile before we move on to the next pages. So to do that, on the bottom left right here, there's a little computer screen that says responsive mode, and if we click that, we can click on mobile, and it'll show us what our website looks like on a cell phone. So if I click on here, you'll see that it crunches it down, and we can see that it looks pretty good. Everything is not that bad, but there are some things that we should probably change. So on mobile, we probably want the heading to be a little bit smaller. So I can click on the pencil right here to edit it. I can go to Style, and I can go to Typography and change the size. Now, when I change the size here, it's only going to change the size for the mobile version. So even if you make it smaller here, it's not going to affect how it looked like on the desktop version. It's going to keep those two things separate so that it can look great on each one individually. So we're going to make it just this size instead. Maybe on mobile, we want this heading to be centered instead of on the left, and the button, maybe we want that to be centered as well, and the paragraph too. Everything looks a little bit better centered on mobile. That looks good. Services, icons, and buttons look good here. This contact is way too big, so we're going to click on here, go to Style, and we want the typography to be a little bit smaller on the mobile version. So there you go, that looks great. And we're going to click Update. And now we can be sure that it's going to look good on mobile and on desktop. To go back to the desktop view, we click on the little cell phone icon now and go back to desktop. And there we have, everything goes back to normal. So we have the desktop view and the mobile view all set up. And as you saw, it was really easy to go back and just double check anything that maybe looked weird on mobile. So once that is done, we can move over to the next pages. Setting up the about and the service pages will be really easy. It's really similar to how we just did it here on the home page. But I'm going to do the contact page first because I want to show you how to set up the contact form. I'm going to leave this page open here even though we're done with it because I can still copy and paste elements that I want to reuse in other pages. So I'm going to leave that open as a resource. So I'm going to come here to the preview page and I'm going to click on contact. And once the contact page loads up, we can click right here where it says edit page. You can also edit this page by going back to the dashboard and going back to pages. But we have this convenient little link here, so we're going to use it and we'll click edit page. And that's going to open up the basic WordPress page editor, not the Elementor editor, which is, the one we saw when we were setting up this page for the first time. But we can click here where it says edit with Elementor to pull up the Elementor page builder. So we're going to give that a second to load up. Now that it's all loaded up, we can start designing our contact page. But it's a lot easier because we already have some design work that we can use. So how do we do that? Well, we can come back to our home page that we have open, and we can use any of these things that we've already made and already have the right font and the right look, again, in any of our other pages. So for example, I can come and take this really cool section, right click it, click copy, come here to the contact page and paste it right there. And that will insert that whole section right here. So I can modify it a little bit to make it look, a little bit unique, a little bit different for the contact page. So what I'll do is I will delete the button since we're already on the contact page. We don't need to have that button there. And we can do that just by right clicking and then selecting delete. Now the contact us, I can actually make it just a little bit smaller since it's going to be a heading at the top of the page. Maybe something like 50. Perfect. And I can make this whole section a little bit shorter since it doesn't have to be as pronounced at the top of the page. To do that, we'll go here to the page options, and then the minimum height, we're going to reduce that maybe to 250. Let's see how that looks. And that looks really great. So now we have the top section of that contact page. And there's a couple of things that I want to have on here. I want to have a contact form that people can fill out and send me a message, and I want to have my basic contact details. So I want to have two different sections, one with the form and one with the details. So what I'll do is I'll click plus and I'll select the 2 column options, and in one column I'm going to have that form, and in the other I'm going to have the details. Now the element that I like to use for the details, if you go here to all the elements, is actually called the icon list. So we can look up the icon list, and it's this one right here, and we can drag and drop that right into the right hand section. Now here's the icon list on the left hand side. We have 3 icons. We can add more if we have more things. We can also remove them if we have less. So I'm going to have 3, and if I click to expand any of these, we see that we have the text of the item and the icon. So for example, here I will put phone number like this, and I can plug in here my phone number as an example. And now for the icon, we can click right here, and there's a library of hundreds of different icons to use. And if we write phone, it will search a lot of different phone icons that we can use. So I'll select this one. I like how that one looks, and I'll click insert, and that's going to add it in right there. And we'll be able to change the color and shape and size of it under style, but let's just go ahead and finish plugging in all of our contact information. So I have the phone number right there. But actually, now that I look at it, since we have the phone icon, we don't really need to have the word phone number. It's kind of obvious that that's going to be the phone number. So we can erase the word phone and just have the phone icon. It's a little bit cleaner. Now, it would be nice if when somebody comes to our website and they click, or if they're on their phone, they touch the phone, their phone would give them the option to call us, right? Like if it was a link to call us, and we can do that. So here where it says link, all you have to do is type in tel, T-E-L, colon, and your phone and the phone number. So I'll type in the phone number again with no spaces, like that. And this will be a link that mobile phones and computers can recognize to initiate a phone call. So people will be able to tap there and call you. Next, we're gonna do maybe our email. So for example, my email is icreateyoursite@gmail.com, like that. And this is something that is kind of silly. If you write email, there's really no email icon. And that's something that I was like, why is there no email icon? So you actually have to write envelope. And then this is kind of like what you would, this is what most emails use anyways. But yeah, you can plug in an envelope icon right there. Works perfect. All right, so there's the email. And last, maybe you want to have your address if you have a physical location, or maybe your hours. So for example, let's do hours in case we don't have an actual physical store. So we can maybe put Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for example. And then here for the icon, we can look up a clock. And here's a little clock icon, and we can insert it. Perfect. Oh, and for the email, if we go back here to the email real quick, we can also add a link so that if they touch our email address, it will open the email app on their phone with our email ready to send. So to do that, to link to a mail app, the link is going to be mail to altogether, colon, and then you're going to add your email address at the end. So just copy and paste that to make it easier. And that will let the phone or computer know that if they click that, it's going to open the email app with your email on the send list. All right, so we have our icons right here. Now let's design them, make them look a little bit prettier. So let's go to Style, and we can choose how we want to align them. If we want to align them to the right, center, or in the mid, or to the left. The left looks good. We can have some more space in between them, and we can do that by adjusting the space option here. So maybe let's do 5. That looks good. We can have a divider in between them as well, this line. But I don't really like how that looks, so I'm going to leave it off. The icon, we can choose the color and the size and the alignment. So let's make the icon black so that it matches the text of our website. The size, I would like them for them to be a little bit bigger. Maybe 20, I think looks good. And the alignment, let's see, we can do to the right, center, or to the left. To the left looks good as well. The text, we can make it black as well, and make it a little bit bigger by going to typography and increasing that font size a little bit more. Let's see, 20 looks good, and let's change the font to Railway so that it matches our website. Perfect. All right, that is looking good. Now, it does look a little bit crunched here, so let's give this section here some space by going here to the height options of the section. And then here under height, minimum height, and let's do 450 so that it matches our other sections. Perfect. Now we can also add a map to our basic information. This can be if you have a physical store and you have your address and your map, or maybe you have a service area that you work in, a specific city or a specific state. If you're just an online business and you don't have a specific place, well then maybe you don't need the map. But if you want to add a map, you can go here to all the elements, and you can find here where it says Google Map, and you can drag and drop that in here, and it's going to load up a Google Map. There you are. And it's going to have a default location, but I can erase this one, and I can write a city like Miami, Florida, for example, and it's going to load up here, the city. Perfect. And I can change how zoomed in it is. If I want it to be, further away to show more of Florida, or I can zoom it in if I want to show more of like a specific street. Like if you have an actual business address and you want to show like the intersection that you're on, you can zoom all the way into like that specific intersection. Also, if people click on this map, they can get directions to the address that you've plugged in there. You can also change the height of this map, so you can make it a little bit bigger like this, or a little bit smaller, depending on how you want your website to look. I'm going to do 250. I think it looks really good. And that looks pretty good. We have our contact information and our basic service area that we want to show people. Next, we're going to click Update to save our progress so far. And the next thing we're going to do is show you how to do a contact form that people can fill out, and you'll get that email. So to do that, we're going to go back to our website. Let's click on the preview button to see that contact page, and then from there we'll go back. So here is the preview of the contact page. Looks really great. So to go back to the dashboard, we're going to go to our dashboard from the top left-hand corner. And now, because we installed the Contact Form 7 plugin at the beginning, we're going to have this option here that is called Contact on our left side menu. If you don't see this, it means that you might have skipped a step where you downloaded the contact form plugin at the beginning. All the steps are timestamped. Just make sure you have that plugin so that this option shows up. So we'll click here where it says contact. And if we scroll down, we'll see there's already a contact form that has been created. We're going to click edit. And we're going to scroll down again. So here is the contact form. Now don't be scared by this. I know it's a lot of crazy text, but this is basically how the website understands the contact form. We don't have to do anything with this. Basically, it's just letting you know it's going to ask for the person's name, it's going to ask for the person's email, the subject of their email, and then they can type in their message to you. So what we want to do is go to mail, and here we see who this form sends to. So right now this email would go to site admin email, which means that it's going to go to the email that you put in when you set up the website, when you set up your HostGator account and did all the setup for the website. If you want it to go somewhere else to a different email address, you would erase this. I'm going to copy this right now, but just to show you. And then you would type in the email that you want it to go to. Like that. Now, the admin email for this website is the same as I Create Your Site because that's what I used to set it up. But in case you used a different email to set up and you want this to go somewhere else, for example, maybe you used a personal email to set it up, but you want it to go to a business email, you would just erase it and type in the email that you want to use. I'm going to leave the admin email because it is the same one that I'm using. All of this stuff you can leave the same, and then you're just going to click save. That's pretty much the only setting that you have to change. You're going to save that. And if we scroll down, we see that there's this blue box here that says copy and paste this shortcode into any post, page, or text widget content. So this little code right here is actually what creates our form. So we're going to copy this, and we can just click copy. And we're going to come back to our contact page, and we want to insert this here. So how do we do that? Well, you can add it as text, but Elementor actually has a specific element to make sure that these little codes work. So what you're going to look for is called short codes. So you're going to write short, and you're going to see this element here, short code, and we're going to drag and drop this in here. And you see that we get this little text box right here with like a little gray text in it as an example. We can erase that, and we can paste in our contact form. And you see they will automatically generate the contact form for us right here. Doesn't that look great? So let's click update to save our changes, and let's click preview to see what it looks like. All right, there we go. So we have our contact form, our contact information, and our map. There are a few things that I want to change about this. One, you probably noticed that the video takes a second to load, and you see the little loading bar up there. I kind of don't want that to happen. It doesn't happen on the home page because the video is at the bottom, and by the time you scroll down, it's already loaded, which is great. But it does happen here on the contact page because it's at the top. So I'm going to take off the video and put a picture. The next thing I want to do is give these things a little bit more space to breathe. They're a little bit all crunched together, so I want to give those things a little bit more space. So how do we do that? Let's go back to the contact page. First, we're going to go here to the title section, and we're going to go to the options for the entire row in the center. And then we're going to go to style, which is where the options for the background are. And instead of video, we're going to go back to picture. And that looks really good. I'm actually going to keep the mountain picture. I like that one. And then for background overlay, I'm going to increase it a little bit just to make it easier to read. Maybe 65 would be good. Okay, perfect. Next, I want to give these things a little bit more space. So how do we add space around the columns and around the elements? I'll show you how to do that. So if I want to add space all the way around here and in between things, all I have to do is add padding. In this case, I want to add it to this whole column on the left. So what I do is click right here on the column option, go to advanced, and then there's an option here called padding, and you'll see that right now they're linked together. See, values are linked together, which means that if I put 50 at the top, it's going to put 50 all the way around. So if I do 50, you see it adds 50 pixels of space all the way around, which is actually what I want because I want it to look nice and even. If you want it to have different numbers, you can uncheck this linked value, and then maybe you can have like less at the top, for example, and have different values in there. But that looks good. Now I want to do the same thing here on the right hand side. So I can actually right click, copy, and then right click and paste style. and that will paste the same settings over on this side and save me some time. The next thing I want to do is just add a little title up here to the contact form, and I can recycle this contact that I have right here. So I can copy here and I can paste, and it pasted it at the bottom, but that's okay. We can drag and drop this up here and plop it right there, and we'll align it to the left, and we can just write something like message us. And we'll make the font a little bit smaller, like so. Perfect. So now we have our contact page with our contact form, our contact details, and our location. Looks great. Let's go ahead and click update to save those changes. And our contact preview will automatically update over here. And we can see here that our contact page is ready to go. Last thing we want to do is come back one more time, go here to the mobile view and just make sure everything looks good. So we have contact, message us, the contact form, and the contact details in the map, and it looks good on mobile as well. So that is perfect. We're done with the contact page. So now let's just put it back in desktop mode, and we can go back to the preview here. Again, I'm going to keep this open and this open just because I want to have them as resources that I can copy and paste from to save time. So let's go back to the preview page, which is right here, and let's create the about page. And this will be a lot easier even still. So we're going to click edit page, and then we're going to click edit with Elementor. Now we want to create our heading area again, and we can do that even easier by coming back to the contact page, copying right here, and then coming to about and pasting it right there. Now we can switch this to about us, just like that. And we can maybe even have a different background. So we will click right here on the options for the row, go to style, and go to background image. And we can set up a different background image to kind of have a better look. So let's choose this picture right here and click insert. Perfect, looks great. Next, I'm going to have two sections again, just like we did on the home page. So to make it easier, we can come right back to the home page. Here's the about us. We can copy this section right here, go back to about, and paste this section right there. So now we can just probably expand a little more, right? So this is where you might write some more information about you. So you'd go a little bit more in depth. So you might have a couple of paragraphs just like this. Well, maybe one less so that it looks a little more even. Let me erase the last one. Just like that. Now, if this paragraph gets a little bit long, we might want to move this down a little bit. So to do that, we can actually add a spacer up here. Let me show you how to do that. We can come here to all the elements. There's a spacer element right here. We can drag and drop that right above the image. And that actually creates a amount of white space. Nobody can see this, it's just empty space. And if you check it, you can actually increase how much or how little space you want to be there. And I'm going to make it just so that it starts at the same height as the text, kind of like that. And we can remove the Learn More button since we don't need that link anymore. Delete. And actually now there is enough space for us to add that extra paragraph. So let's go ahead and add it. Perfect. There you go. Looks really good. And maybe we want to write even more, so we can add another section right here. Make it just one big section. And we can copy this text box and paste it in here. And here we can write a little bit more about us. And finally, we might want to have people contact us. Maybe they read our story and they like it and they want to contact us after. So we can come back to the home section and we can plug in our contact page one more time if the goal is for them to contact us. So we'll plug in here the contact section again, contact us with this button that is already linked. So here's the about section ready to go. Let's add some space above the about here so that it's not so close. And actually, since this already says about us, we probably shouldn't have it repeated here. So let's go ahead and delete this. And let's add some space up here as well. So let's actually get rid of the spacer. Now we don't need it anymore. There you go. And let's add some space up here just to this entire section. So to do that, we're going to add padding right at the top. To do that, we're going to click right here on the options for the row. And we're going to go to advanced. And we're going to unlink them because we only want it at the top, not everywhere. So we're going to unlink them. And let's do 50 for the top. There you go. It's going to push it down a little bit right here. And let's click update. And now we can click preview. So you can see how we've really quickly created our about page with a nice ending here to contact us. And if you want to add anything else to your about page, it's really simple. For example, maybe instead of having a picture, you want to have a video about you. You can delete this picture and you can go here to the options and you can go to video and you can insert a video about your business or your idea or from your YouTube channel. It can be from YouTube, or if you click self-hosted, it can just be a video that you upload from your computer as well. So let's just leave video from YouTube for now, and you'd be able to plug in a video right here that explains your idea or a logo or an image or anything else that you want to have there. So let's click update to save those changes. And let's go to about. And there we have our about page with some more information about us and option to contact us. Last, we're going to create our services page. So we're going to go here to services. And we can close out of the about section since we, even though we've been recycling from our previous sections, all of these exist already in the contact and in the home. So we don't actually need this whole tab here. We'll close out of it. And let's create our services page. So we're going to click edit page. And we'll click edit with Elementor. Now we're going to add our heading for our services page so we can get that right from our contact page. We will going to go ahead and right click and click copy, come back to services and click paste. We're going to title this page services. And we can give it its own background image by going to the row options, going to style, going to image, and we can choose an image for this one. This one looks really great. We're going to insert it right there. And that looks perfect. All right, so now for the services, I have an idea. I want to have an image and text, and then text and an image, and then an image and text back and forth like that. So I can actually use a section from the home page. The about section, I can actually reuse this again in a different way. So I can click copy right here, come to services, and paste it. All right, and then this will be service 1, for example, right? And then, that could be whatever service you offer or whatever product you want to put or anything that you want to say about your business. And maybe they want to contact you for this service, so we can change this learn more button to a contact us button. Whoops. Contact us. And then we can plug in the contact page if we need to, just like this. So here's service 1. Now I want to have a service 2, but I want the picture to be on the right and the information to be on the left. And that's really easy to do. All we have to do is right click on here and click duplicate, and it will create a copy for us. Now, if I want to switch these two, it's really easy. All I have to do is click on this column and drag it to the right, and that will switch both of them really easily. So I can call this now service 2. And I can give it its own image. So I can click here on the image, go to choose an image, and pick a different image for service 2 and click insert. There you go. And now I can duplicate it one more time. I can switch them again, just to kind of create a nice little layout and design. This could be my third service. And I can click on the picture and go to choose an image, and pick a different image for that third service and click insert. So here I have my 3 services that I offer. And if I want to differentiate it a little bit more, what I can do is I can come up here to the middle column to kind of, just so they don't blend in all together, I can click right here on the center and add a background color to this one so it's not all white. So I'll click right here in the center to edit the options for the row. I will go to style, and then a background type. I'm just going to add a light gray just to kind of differentiate them a little bit. So a light gray, something like this, looks great. And I'm going to click update. That's going to save our changes. And I'm going to click preview. And here we can see our service page. So we have service 1, service 2, and service 3. Now I did notice that this looks a little bit cramped towards the top. So I want the information to be centered to the image. And that's really easy to do. So let's come back to the services page. And let's start from the first one. So if you want all the information inside of this column to be aligned to the middle, all we have to do is come here to the column options, come here to style. Oh, no, sorry, layout. So we come to the column options, we come to layout, and here where it says vertical alignment, we're going to choose the middle. And that's going to move everything towards the middle. And if we come down here to the next one, we go again to the column, layout, vertical alignment to the middle, third column, layout, vertical alignment to the middle, and then update. That's going to save those changes, and it's going to automatically update our preview page. So it's going to preview right now. And here we have our service page, service number 1, nice and centered, service number 2, nice and centered, and service number 3, nice and centered, and it looks perfect. All right, so let's make sure it looks good on mobile by coming back to the Elementor page and clicking on responsive mode, mobile. And we can start from the top. So we can see that we have the services page right here, the image in service 1, then we have service 2 and the image, and then service 3. So it looks okay, but it's kind of weird that these two images are together and then these two texts are together. I'd really like it if it was image, text, image, text, image, text. And there's a really easy way to do that. So the first one is fine, image and text, perfect. But this second one, we want the image to be first on the mobile version, but we want it to stay on the left for the desktop version. So how do we do that? It's really simple. We come here to the options for the row, then we go to advanced, and we scroll down to responsive. These are all the settings for mobile. And here there's an option that says reverse columns on mobile. So what that does is on mobile only, it will switch the order of the columns. And if I check this, we have image first and then service. And then the third one is already in the right order, image and then service. So that makes it look perfect. We can hit update to save those changes. And we can preview on the services page. So that is looking great. So now all our pages are created. Let's go ahead and close out of this, the different pages we have open here. And let's go back to the home page. And we can remember how we started versus how it looks now. So we have our really nice home page with our button and an about section, our different services that we offer. These link to the services page, and the contact us, the links to the contact page. Next, we have our about page, where people can read more about us, watch a video or see our picture, and read our story, and contact us if they want to learn more. We have our services page, where people can see the different services that we offer, and it looks really great on desktop and on mobile devices. And finally, we have our contact page, where people can see our different forms of contact that we have, our email, our phone number, where we're located, and they can even fill out this form and send us a message. So there's a couple of things that we want to do to kind of wrap up our website. So let's get rid of this not secure. We want our website to be secure, and we want to make sure that the SSL is working properly. To do that, we're going to go back to our dashboard, and we're going to use the plugin that we installed at the beginning for the SSL. So you should probably have this big block right here that says go ahead, activate SSL. If you don't see this for any reason, make sure in your plugins you have the simple SSL plugin. So if you go to plugins, you should have here the really simple SSL plugin. That is what's actually allowing us to set up the SSL really easily. So click right here, go ahead, activate SSL. When you do that, it's going to automatically log you out, but you might notice that it did add the little lock. So just log back in with your username and password. All right, so our SSL is almost done. There's a few more steps that we have to do. They're really simple. We just want to make sure that nothing got left behind when the plugin made our whole website secure. So to do that, we want to go to Elementor and we want to go to Tools. And we want to go here where it says Replace URL. And pretty much what we're doing is telling Elementor and our page builder, hey, anywhere where you see the old URL that didn't have HTTPS, the SSL, we want you to remove that and put in the HTTPS that does have the SSL. So to do that, we're going to copy our URL. So just copy your URL all the way to the end with the HTTPS. So you're going to put that one in the new URL. So HTTPS is in the new URL. And here in the old URL, you're going to paste it in again, but just remove the S. So pretty much we're telling Elementor, hey, anywhere where the S is missing, replace it with a link that does have the S, and that will make sure the SSL is working throughout the entire website. So we're going to click replace. And you see it found 32 rows that for some reason or another were missed that have now been updated. So now our website is fully secure. So we're going to click OK. Then we're going to go to General. Then we're going to click here where it says Regenerate Files to give a fresh batch and resync the library just to make sure everything is up to date. And we're going to click Save Changes. All right, perfect. So let's go back to visit our site just to make sure the SSL is showing up on all the pages. And we can see that the page is secure. And let's try the contact page. And we can see that that one is secure as well. All right, so now our website is nice and safe, and all the information that people plug into it in the contact form will be secure as well. The next thing we want to do is edit this footer a little bit. Right now it says powered by Astra, but maybe you want to put your company name there or another little message there or change the color. To do that, we're going to click Customize here from the top toolbar. And we're going to go here where it says Footer. And let's scroll down so we can actually see. And we have here where it says Footer Bar. And we can see that it says right here, copyright, current year, site title, powered by, and then theme author. So the copyright and the current year and the site title, that's just your company or website name, that's fine. I want to erase the powered by option right there. So I'm going to erase that one. And what I like to write for my website is web design by I Create Your Site. Just like that. So we can also change the color. If we scroll down, we see here where it says background color. So we can click right here and choose a different color. Maybe a dark blue would be nice. Something like this. I like how that looks, matches the website. So I'm going to click publish to save those changes. And the last thing we might want to do is get a logo for our website. So I showed you how you can change the title right here. And to do that, we're going to go back one step, go back one more step, and go to header, site identity. And here is where we wrote the site title, my website. Of course, you could have called it whatever you wanted. So for example, let's just change this. I'm going to write I Create Your Site. And you can also create a tagline. The tagline also shows up here in the header. So for example, the tagline for this tool is customize and then contact my website. But I'm going to change it so that when people pull up my website, it says I Create Your Site and it says amazing website design. Just like that. Now I can check here if I want it to show, and it will show it right under it. But instead of having text, we're going to uncheck both of these things. And we're going to actually have a real logo for our website. So to do that, you can click here where it says select logo. And you can upload a logo from your computer. If you already have a logo for your company, you can upload the logo. But if you don't have a logo yet, I'm going to show you how to make your own logo. So what we're going to do is go to canva.com, which is a free design tool that you can use to design all kinds of things, including making yourself a nice little starter logo. So we're going to go to templates and we're going to go to business and logo. And there are some here that you can use that are pre-made, but sometimes it's kind of hard to like change the settings that they automatically put. So I like to create one from blank. That way you can do it whichever way you want. So the first thing that I like to do is add an image and some text, and that's going to be my logo. So I go to Elements, where they have a lot of different graphics that you can get. So they have shapes, stickers, gradients, a lot of different little icons for things that are popular, but you can just search for what you're looking for. So for example, I'm going to search for mountains, since my website is about mountains. And we see we automatically get a lot of free graphics that we can use that are related to or about mountains. Some of them are not free, you have to purchase them, but there's a ton of free ones, so you can always use something that is free. So I like this one a lot, and I can just drag and drop this in here. So that will be like the icon for my logo. And I also want to have some text next to it. So you might want to have like a shape and then the name of your company. I'm going to have this mountain shape and then the word mountain. So to do that, I'm going to go here to text, and I'm going to click add a heading, and it's going to show up right here. And I can type in here whatever I want. So let me just erase this and type in mountains. Just like this. And I can change the font right here, and they have railway, so that way the font matches the website. Here you go. Now I can drag and drop this font around a little bit, just to make sure it's kind of nice and lined up with what I want. And I can make this a little bit smaller, like this, and align this like this. Perfect. So let me make this a little bit bigger. There you go. Get it nice and lined up. And there you have it. Perfect. So this is a really easy way to make yourself a really simple, really quick logo in case you don't have one already. So this would be my website's logo. All I have to do is click here where it says download and click download. And it's going to automatically save to our computer. And we can close out of Canva and click leave. Close out of here. Now we can click upload files, select, and it should be in your downloads folder or wherever your computer saves images. So ours is right here. I'm going to click open, and I can close out of this download bar here. All right, there's our logo. We're going to click select, and we don't want all this extra white space to show up, so we can crop it just so that the logo part shows. And we'll click crop image, and we can see that our logo shows up right here. Now, depending on how what image you chose, it might not be the right size. So here where it says logo width, you can make it bigger, or you can make it smaller, depending what looks good to you. I think 250 looks good on my site. Actually, that might be a little bit too big. Let's try 200, maybe 175. Okay, perfect. Not too big and not too small. All right, our logo is done. Now we can change our site icon, which is this little icon up here in the corner. By default, it's a little HostGator icon, but to change that, we're going to scroll down to here where it says site icon. We'll click select site icon. We can click our logo again and click select. And we can, it'll be a square, so we can just scooch it over so that it's just the icon part like this. Click crop image and click publish. So now we have our logo and our icon, and they've been saved to our website. So now we can click X here to go back to our homepage and see what our website looks like. And here we have our finished website with all of our sections, headings, images, icons, videos, all those things. So you can take your time and change it around even more. Try adding different styles, try adding different elements, really make this website your own. But this is what we've made so far. It looks amazing, it looks professional. We have our home page, we have our about page as well with our text and our video. We have our services page with our heading and our list of different services that we offer, as well as our contact. We also have our contact page that we made with all our contact information, our map, and our contact form. Now you have a completed, awesome looking professional website. The only thing that you're seeing that others won't see is, of course, the toolbar right here. Once you're done with your website, If you want to see what it looks like to somebody without the toolbar being there, you can scroll right here and click log out. And it wants to confirm that we want to log out, so let's click log out again. And it's going to bring us back to the login page. Here you can put your username and password if you want to log back in and make more changes. If not, you can erase all this stuff and just go to your website. And now we can see how our website looks to everybody else. So it looks pretty much the same as what we were seeing, except without that heading up here. But congratulations, you've made an amazing website. Well, that's it. You guys have made your very own website. You learned how to get your domain and your hosting. You learned how to install WordPress, create pages, set up your menu, and create custom designs with free images. You even learned how to make your very own logo. The only thing that's left to do now is sharing the website with everybody that you know. Post it on your social media, share it with friends and family. Be proud of the website that you've made. If this video helped you, share this video with other people, and remember to hit the like button. It really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. I make videos like this every week, so remember to subscribe for more. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have an excellent day.